8, 9, 10. Hello there, a very good evening to you, and welcome to the St David Awards 2021. That is the right way. I'm going to put you where we are. Are you sort of happy? chi i Blackwood. Mae hi yn
a chroeso mawr I Wobre Dewi Sant 2021. Mae hi'n fraint mawr cael bod yma I gyflwyno'r noson Wobre hon ar ran Llywodraeth Cymru. Heno rydyn ni'n dathlu ag yn cydnabod cyfraniad pobl arbennig iawn. Pobl sy'n gwneud gwir gwahaniaeth yma yng Nghymru a thu hwnt. Mae'r Gwobre yn cydnabod gweithgareddau a gymroddiad unigolion a grwpiau eithriadol sy'n gwella bywydau pobl eraill.
Good evening and welcome to the 2021 St David Awards, the Welsh Government's national award scheme, which recognises the extraordinary achievements of people in Wales in a year which has been dominated by the COVID-19 pandemic. This year's ceremony is a little bit different, and tonight we're coming to you virtually as a live stream.
And it's a change not to be wearing something that hasn't got an elasticated waist,
Absolutely.
isn't it? It's lovely. But what isn't different, though, is the opportunity to celebrate some genuinely uplifting and moving stories.
Yes, we'll hear those stories and see who's won very shortly. And then, at the end of the evening, we'll announce the winner of the First Minister's Special Award.
Ond y gyntaf, dewch i ni ddechrau'r noson a dweud helo wrth ein cynulleidfa rhithiol. Shwmai? Dych chi gyd wedi gwneud ymdrech, bron!
So many!
It's so lovely to see you all. Welcome. And we're delighted to be joined tonight by many of our incredible award nominees, along with some of their friends and family. And you know what? Standing here, I feel like Bob Monkhouse hosting Celebrity Squares.
Only you look slightly more glamorous.
Thank you.
Say.
Thank you.
Well, it is, as Larry said, amazing to see so many faces there. And hopefully we'll be speaking to some of you as the evening progresses. And if you're watching at home tonight, please do get involved on Twitter by using the hashtag St David Awards.
Dilynwch ni ar ein Twitter gan ddefnyddio hashnod Gwobre Dewi Sant. Ag wrth gwrs, dyn ni mewn am noson fawreddog iawn, and we look forward to sharing some of your comments later in the programme. Eleni, mae'n tylyngwyr yn cynnwys pobl ddewr, gwyddonwyr, pobl fusnes, a rhai sydd wedi rhoi anghenion pobl eraill o flaen eu hunain gyda'i gwaith elusennol a gwirfoddol. Mae pob un ohonynt yn gwneud pethau eithriadol, yn gwneud gwahaniaeth go iawn ac yn glod i'n cenedl.
Now in their 8th year, the St David Awards are a national celebration of the very best of Wales, a way of honouring people who've made an exceptional contribution to our national life and the life of communities both here in Wales and further afield. And in a year that has seen so many challenges for each one of us, there are some remarkable stories to tell tonight.
Indeed there are. And to help us announce all the winners, I'm delighted to say that we are joined this evening by the First Minister of Wales, Mark Drakeford. Noswaith dda I chi Brif Weinidog, croeso cynnes I chi. And the St David Awards are always important, but even more so this year.
Well, Larry, diolch yn fawr. You're absolutely right. The St David Awards, always a very special night uncovering talent right across Wales in so many fields. But in this extraordinary year, the awards are even more significant. In what have been dark times, still allowing us to celebrate all those things that make Wales such a special place with so many special people in it.
Okay, diolch yn fawr iawn I chi.
Thank you so very much indeed for joining us here, First Minister. Now, there are 9 categories in the total tonight. The finalists for 8 of the categories were selected by a special expert advisory panel. The 9th St David Award is the First Minister's Special Award, and you'll have to wait until later in the programme to find out exactly who this year's winner is.
Felly, at ein gwobr gyntaf, dewrder. Our first category this evening is bravery. All of our nominees have demonstrated courageous behaviour by doing what is right in the most difficult situations, whatever the risk.
Absolutely, yes. This year, our finalists include a group of men who saved the lives of 2 groups of swimmers, a river rescue that saw a woman trapped all night on the roof of her car, and the incredible bravery shown by 3 people in trying to stop a fatal knife attack.
5th of May last year, a tragic event unfolded in the Co-op store at Penygrieg High Street in the Rhondda Valley. Someone was attacking individuals with a knife. 3 people in particular stepped forward valiantly. Sadly, one of those individuals, Mr. John Rees, sacrificed his life.
Just finished working in the Royal Glamorgan Hospital where I work as a nurse, and just realised there was no queue outside the co-op, so I thought I'd just nip in for a few things. I was in the queue to pay and I could hear sort of a commotion and people shouting, "She's got a knife, she's got a knife."
A lady came in and started stabbing customers. The older gentleman in front of me, John, went to the lady's rescue.
Yet was protecting him with a basket. I was grabbing the girl. She stabbed me then in the neck. I could feel the blood running down my neck, and I think then I started to think, I feared for my life.
What unfolded within the Co-op store was one of the bravest things that I've witnessed. I can't praise the 3 of them highly enough.
I truly hope I'm never going to experience an event as tragic and upsetting as this.
I'll never forget it, no. John was definitely the hero on that day.
The 18th of February last year seemed like a normal day, apart from one thing, that Storm Dennis had completely hit the country and had flooded this area to record heights. So I got up and took my dog for a walk. This road was completely flooded. I noticed something along the lane. When I got there, it was a person on top of a completely submerged car. It was clear that she needed immediate help.
I was on my way to work. When we got to the bridge was impassable, so we stopped. I could hear somebody in the distance shouting for help. We waded through the water, got to the other side, met up with Jeff, who said there was a lady stuck on the top of her car. I just went straight out, got onto the car, got out of her, and just out of there for a while. She'd been there for nearly 12 hours.
My son Adam found me in the water trying to get the lady out, and he got straight in. Mark could see that she was going in and out of consciousness.
I was trying to hold the car, hold her, but we kept sliding off. So I got off the car. Jeff and his boy had to come into the water, help me get her across then onto the bank.
The emergency services got there, looked after the lady, and they took her back in the boat, and Mark, and I walked my way home. I was so pleased I went for a walk that morning, otherwise this would have been a different story.
I'm glad it was a happy ending.
On the 26th of July, it was shaping up to be a great day for windsurfing and kitesurfing, but we had no idea what was going to happen later that day.
So gynta o'n i'n gwybod bod yna problem oedd pan ar ein ngwraig Kate gweld rhywun yn rhedeg mewn i'r dŵr hefo dillad I gyd ymlaen I mynd tuag at y 2 person arall oedd yn trwbl. Oedd y gyd yn nhw'n ffindio'n anodd I nofio nôl tuag at yr traeth. So ar un I cael gafel o'r life ring a ar un I rhedeg lawr tuag at yr dŵr a trio mynd I helpu nhw'n syth. Nes I cychwyn nofio tuag at y tri a trio cael nhw I nofio tuag atai, ond oedd o'n clir bod un o'r bechgyn oedd o'n rili stryglo ac oedd o'n mynd mewn ag allan o consciousness pryd na'r un I cyrreddo.
Saw Arwell in the water. It became more apparent that he was struggling and he had some casualties with him. So I grabbed my windsurfer and sailed over to him. I pulled the boy that was turning blue onto my board, began CPR, and probably after about a minute of CPR he came round luckily.
Ddar fi weld Drew a Arwel yn dod â pobl o'r môr ymlaen i'r traeth, ond yna 4 person arall yn y môr yn trwbl. Dyna pan ddar fi redeg fewn i'r môr. A lwcus I fi, Drew ar ei windsurfboard eto, a 2 brawd, Josh, Ollie a Will, di dod I helpu fi.
If we hadn't been in the right place at the right time, the outcome could have been quite different.
Worthy finalists, ac I gyhoeddi'r enillydd to announce the winner, it's over to the First Minister.
Wel, mae'r categori hwn bob tro yn un gryf. For demonstrating extreme bravery and selfless courage in a life-threatening situation, the winner of the St David Award for Bravery is John Rees, Lisa Way and Ayet Bonuri.
Oh my goodness, all really worthy winners. But I'm pleased to say that we are joined now by Ayet, who of course you saw in that film. Ayet, what can you say? A truly tragic event which cost John Rees his life, but we're all so proud of you. How are you feeling this evening?
Privileged. Such an emotional night, such a wonderful, what can I say? It's a praise tribute to John, his life, his family and his community, and it's a wonderful legacy despite his sad passing. Thank you all so very much to the people of Wales. It truly is a privilege and very proud moment. Thank you.
I suppose I have to ask, Ayet, could you ever have imagined how things would have unfolded that night?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's quite surprising. It's emotional. It's a bit, but no, not at all. So many worthy nominees, and thank you.
Well, Ayet, thank you so very much. Clearly emotional there, and understandably so, but we think you are such a worthy winner. Thank you so very much.
Wel, gadewch i ni nawr droi at ein sylw at y bobl sydd wedi profi llwyddiant mewn busnes. The St David Award for Business celebrates people who have taken risks, invested their time and energy to build their business. For all businesses, the past year has been dominated by the COVID pandemic, and each of our finalists have risen to the challenges they faced and made a real difference to the communities they serve.
Very much so, yes. There's the Cheese Company, whose innovative approach gave other local producers a vital lifeline during lockdown. A nursery who went above and beyond during the pandemic, and the team responsible for delivering vital PPE equipment to the NHS.
The Blenavon Cheddar Company is a small family business based in the World Heritage town of Blenavon. There's only 3 family members, my husband Jerry, myself and our daughter Charlotte. We make everything by hand from a little tiny Edwardian shop which is open to the general public.
All of our cheeses at the shop have won many awards, especially the Porthmar Mature Cheddar, which is matured 300 feet below ground in the Big Pit mining shaft of the Mining Museum. And you won't find that anywhere else.
We supply many local businesses, wholesalers, restaurants and pub chains. When the pandemic hit, we were absolutely knocked sideways. Local restaurants and pubs were forced to close, and that was a substantial part of our business. It was devastating for them and frightening for us. If we were going to get through this pandemic, we very quickly needed to think on our feet and turn the business around.
We all knew as local producers that we had to do something and come together and create a unique adaptation of selling our produce locally and being able to deliver it to people's houses through a knock and drop service.
Within a few weeks, we were ready to roll out with hampers, and it meant that we were pulling in product from little local producers who were really struggling.
We're so proud of what we have achieved as a family business, but it's not just about us.
It's all about partnering up and everybody sharing the love.
I think in the Cerit team we would acknowledge that we have significantly learned. You might say the depth of what a pandemic will bring. The number one priority for Cerit was to ensure that we could find alternative sources of supply of medical devices and PPE for health and care. This was a huge task because of the number of people involved, the number of bodies and organisations that would be involved in doing this, and how to sort of bring the industry or the supply chain into supporting that activity itself. Life Sciences Hub are one of the major industry-facing bodies that we have. They were able to field a significant amount of inquiries from many companies who were looking to bring their product, services or ideas into the healthcare area.
CERIT stands for the Critical Equipment Requirements Engineering Team. The team is set up of a diverse range of experts from academia, business, NHS and Welsh Government.
Thousands of submissions were made by different companies. We ended up assessing over 500 submissions. I'm very, very proud of the work that CERT have done. They've brought together multiple agencies who've not worked together before, and they've delivered an astonishing amount of PPE for the Welsh NHS.
The key thing is to bring stability for the health service and the care service, those people who are patients as well as those people who are staff who are protected in this period.
Little Inspirations is a childcare service with 6 sites. We take great pride in offering the best childcare that we can and affordability for parents too. Our team are really passionate about everything that we do for our communities. At the start of COVID last year, many nurseries had to close, leaving only 10% of childcare facilities available for critical workers. We were determined that the doors weren't going to be shut, that we were going to be here to help and support the frontliners that needed to go to work.
Roedd hi'n amser prysur iawn I ni, ond roeddwn ni eisiau chwarae ein rhan. Golygais hyn bod ni wedi helpu'r plant a rhieni, a roedd ddim yn mynychu'r meithrinfa ar y pryd. Trefnais ni pecynau gofal a parsel I bwyd ar gyfer plant a rhieni a roedd ddim yn mynychu'r meithrinfa. Gwnaethom alwadau ar Zoom I sicrhau roedd neb yn cael ei adael allan. Hyn oedd y lleiaf allan ni ei wneud.
We did have a situation where one parent worked in a care home and she'd seen 3 clients pass away in 1 week. She couldn't have held their hands if we weren't looking after her little girl at the time. It's been a really hard 12 months for everybody. There isn't enough words to say thank you to the staff for their commitment. Saying you're proud of them is probably not enough.
Prif Weinidog, a allwch chi gyhoeddi enillydd os gwelwch chi fod yn dda. First Minister, could you please tell us who the winner is?
Wel, diolch yn fawr, mae nifer o busnesau wedi gwynebu cyfnod anodd eleni. A number of businesses have faced a real difficult time this year. But this business has managed to keep going and deliver an essential service. The winner of the St David Award for Business is Little Inspirations.
Well, so many congratulations. Janine, this has been such a difficult year, of course, but what have you been doing at Little Inspirations? Has been truly incredible, supporting families and, of course, their little ones. Many congratulations to you.
We're not sure if you can see us or hear us because we can't see you. Can you see us?
Yeah. We can indeed, yes.
That's okay.
That's something.
That's okay. It's really not about myself at all. It's really about the staff's commitment and the culture that we've had over the years. It was never on the staff's agenda that they weren't going to open those doors. They were always going to be there. So today is about getting the industry noticed and getting our parts noticed in what we've played, and obviously just being there for the families and having to change the way we are. Obviously being counsellors for parents and families too has been a big part. It's a huge thing. It's just so overwhelming. We are so honoured, and it isn't about me or the other business partner. It is about all the staff that have put the effort in. Thank you so much.
Well, so many congratulations to Little Inspirations there. Well, there has been lots of social media reaction already coming in. At A Welch says, my word, the nominees in the bravery category. How on earth could you choose between them? What amazing people.
And Hazel Lim has tweeted, excited for this evening, attending another awards ceremony at home with the family. Well, it beats a quiz, doesn't it? Eh? Keep them coming in.
Absolutely. Now then, the next award is for Innovation, Science and Technology, which recognises people and companies whose work pushes the boundaries of science and research. This year, all of our nominees have played a huge role in the battle against coronavirus and should be so very rightly proud of the cutting-edge work that they've done.
Amongst this year's finalists, we have a company that produced 34,000 litres of hand sanitizer, a partnership that saw the production of 13,000 ventilators for COVID patients, and the team who cut the time needed to sanitise Welsh ambulances by 86%. Dyma'r enwebiadau. Here are the nominees.
At the start of the pandemic, facilities within the university, and particularly the specific project, had to close down. So we looked at how we could use our resources to benefit the pandemic. I was approached by a colleague who had started to manufacture hand sanitizer in very small amounts. He approached myself asking if it was possible he could use our laboratories to manufacture the hand sanitizer, which immediately I jumped at the opportunity and said yes.
Initially we made hand sanitizer literally in the kitchen sink, and then the specific team very soon said, well, why don't we scale this up? And very soon we're able to have the capacity to make 1,000 litres of hand sanitizer a day. The problem initially was getting ethanol, and we're very lucky a local brewery came to our rescue and distilled ethanol to the right concentration. It's the local community coming together to support the university.
When we upscaled the manufacturing process, we needed more volunteers. We increased from 4 or 5 initially on the project to eventually 30 volunteers.
This project united people right across the university, from finance to people working in laboratories. It was a big team effort.
From first manufacturing in buckets to then a full-on engineering process. I'm extremely proud of what we achieved as a team.
When the pandemic struck, we were really concerned about the amount of time it would take to sanitise and decontaminate the ambulances. The sheer number of calls that would be expected from a pandemic was quite high. And to be able to turn around those vehicles and thoroughly clean and ready for our next patients was a real concern. It would take up to 2 hours to thoroughly decontaminate an ambulance. The project was really born through this idea of needing to do things more quickly. What we've managed to do through the SPREE project is thoroughly reduce that down to a matter of minutes.
SBRI stands for the Small Business Research Initiative. We collaborated with Welsh Ambulance, Welsh Government, Innovate UK and the Ministry of Defence and set a challenge to businesses and academia to see if they could help us find some innovations and develop some innovations to help the ambulance service.
From over 6 weeks, we received over 200 applications and a huge opportunity for us to work together in partnership to achieve some great outcomes.
They can save up to 86% of the cleaning time. It's 82% in reduction of costs. The time that they're saving can help them do other tasks.
The nomination is a huge recognition of all those efforts.
As the coronavirus crisis accelerated across Wales and the rest of the UK, the NHS were faced with a huge shortage of ventilators. At the start of the pandemic, the UK had around 5,000 ventilators, but it urgently needed many more. So the government launched the Ventilator Challenge. It was a call to arms to manufacturers and medical device companies to step up production of existing ventilator designs from scratch. Here at Airbus in Broughton, we knew we could help.
We teamed up with Siemens in order to transform the AMRC Wales facility, which was originally designed as an R&T facility, to transform it into a ventilator factory. Staff from Airbus and Siemens worked around the clock to build the facility that would eventually work 24/7 with over 550 Airbus operators building ventilators. At the height of our production, we were actually manufacturing around 1,500 ventilators a week. At the end of the project, we had built over 13,000 ventilators for the NHS, tripling their capacity. And we're really proud of everyone at Airbus and of Siemens for this remarkable achievement, and we feel incredibly privileged to be able to work on something so important for the NHS and for Wales.
Well, First Minister, as with every category, a very difficult decision to choose a winner here. Every nominee in this category has made a huge impact during this pandemic. Can you please tell us who your winner is tonight?
Wrth mae flwyddyn diwetha wedi gweld arloesydd gan nifer o sefydliadau. Despite the challenges that we have faced during the past year, this award recognises how innovation has helped us to meet those challenges. A'r enillydd yw, the winner is SBRI a Gwasanaeth Ambulance Cymru, the Welsh Ambulance Service.
Wonderful.
Llawn gyfarchiadau mawr ag I'm now joined by Jonathan Turnbull-Ross from the Welsh Ambulance Service Trust. Congratulations to you, and there's no doubt that your work ensured there were more ambulances on the streets of Wales throughout this pandemic. So from all of us, a massive thank you. And how do you feel knowing that you have played such an important role during this crisis?
Oh, well, thank you very much. No, we recognise that. You know, the opportunity to be amongst the nominees tonight. I think for Welsh Ambulance, it's been fantastic to partner with so many public sector partners, the government, the patient team, the health team, the Ministry of Defence, Innovate UK, the Centre of Excellence. You know, it really has been a collaborative project. More actually, released over around. So absolutely fine. And to see how our efforts will go on into business as usual, and there's been learning across other ambulances and so.
Jonathan, congratulations, and apologies, we were having a few difficulties hearing Jonathan there, but huge congratulations to you. Nesa y wobr diwylliant a chwaraeon. The Culture and Sport Award recognises people who have excelled in the arts or have made a strong contribution to the fields of culture and sport in Wales.
Yes, 3 very strong finalists tonight. A football club supporting the BAME community in Wrexham. The choir that's been bringing joy to hundreds of care home residents. And the artist whose stunning image of a nurse in PPE made headlines around the world.
We first came up with the idea of Bellevue Football Club in 2016. When we started the club, there were a lot of people from various backgrounds, a lot of foreign nationals, BAME people that play football here, so it just kind of made sense to target it towards those fringe societal groups that wouldn't necessarily get the same opportunities elsewhere. The thing that makes this club what it is the players. Each one of them is here for a reason. It's about taking those perceived adversities and turning them into their own personal strength.
I am an asylum seeker. Bellevue FC was my first approach to society here. It's been like a family, ever since. It's been 2 years now, and I feel like any other one of the lads.
My background's quite diverse. I'm a single mum at the moment. I have a history of mental health problems. I'm part of the LGBTQ community. A lot of that could be a barrier to getting engaged, but actually being part of a team of girls who say, we've all got our own stories behind us and we can just still get on the pitch and make a team together has been it's been a lot of camaraderie. It's been really revolutionary.
Mae Delwyn wedi gwneud gymaint I ddod â cymunedau tuag at ei gilydd yn ardal Wrexham drwy bêl-droed. Mae wedi gwneud gymaint I dorri lawr pwystra rhwng cymunedau ac mae o'n berson unigryw a does ddim ffordd well o gydnabod ei gyfraniad tuag at welliannau yn dre Wrexham.
As long as there's someone out there that needs help, then that's what we aim to do.
The Forget Me Not Chorus is an inspirational charity for people living with and alongside dementia. We use singing as a tool of engagement to energise and unite and inspire people with dementia and the people that love them. The diagnosis of dementia can be devastating. So at Forget Me Not Chorus, we're determined to create moments of joy.
Mae'r pandemig wedi bod yn anodd iawn I bobl, yn enwedig rheina sy'n gofalu am pobl yn y cyflwr hyn. Felly mae wedi bod yn ffordd I ni gallu cysylltu a cyfathrebu gyda pobl trwy cerddoriaeth.
When lockdown came in 2020, we had to adapt our services very, very quickly through regular Zoom rehearsals, virtual films, and through concerts in car parks. We've actually stayed connected with our choristers.
When COVID began, it was absolutely devastating not to be able to see my mum on a regular basis. Since the Zoom session started, I've got that connection back with my mum, and I'm able to join with her singing and see how much she still enjoys it and loves every aspect of it.
I am constantly humbled by our choristers and feel so proud of what they achieve each week.
Back at the start of the pandemic last March, I decided to make a Thank You NHS piece, inspired by most of my friends who work on the front line. As an artist, I really felt it was my duty to say thank you to the brave frontline workers.
We'd seen the impact that Nathan's work had on our clinicians, our visitors, our staff, and so we really wanted to work with him more. We were looking around the stigma of HIV and looking to acknowledge the great work that our sexual health services provide. Nathan came up with this incredible concept of working with Gareth Thomas, who recently had been very vocal about his HIV status.
Nathan's artwork is extremely original and he tackles stigma in a really unique way.
I decided to use my own fingerprints to represent identity and red paint to symbolise fake blood to help raise awareness and erase the stigma around HIV. The day that I unveiled the artwork to Gareth in Cardiff Royal Infirmary, it was extremely emotional.
I think the piece that Nathan did for me that hangs in the hospital, for me represents the end of a very, very difficult journey, and to so many other people, I feel it almost represents the start of the end of what can be a very, very difficult journey.
For me, that just makes everything I do worth it, and I absolutely love that I can bring so much joy to others through my art.
Prif Weinidog, pwy sy'n mynd ar wobr? First Minister, can you please reveal the winner?
Wel, cyfanwyd y categoriau diwylliant a chwaraeon eleni. As you'll have seen, there are 3 very strong finalists in this category who excel in their fields and which made it a very difficult decision for the judges this year. But the winner of the St David Award for Culture and Sport is Delwyn Derrick.
Oh, Delwyn, so many congratulations. Thank you, First Minister. A real worthy winner there. And I'm so delighted to say we can speak to Delwyn Derrick, or should I say Delwyn Sheep. Delwyn, congratulations. I love your middle name there, but you're helping so many people change their lives, get on with their lives up there in Wrexham. Congratulations. How are you feeling tonight?
Thanks. I feel a bit humbled because, as I said in my my piece there, the club's never been about me, it never will be about me. I'm a facilitator who rents a patch of grass, and it's the boys at the club that make all the difference, and if we're doing a great thing, it's down to them. So it's amazing to win this, but the first thing that's happening is I'm going to take it to the boys, I'm going to let them have it, it's going to go in the club trophy cabinet because it's all for them.
Wonderful, Delwyn. Thank you so very much. Not giving anything away on that nickname either. Thank you so very much.
Now, all of tonight's nominations were selected by an expert advisory panel, and they had the really difficult task of shortlisting these individuals and groups from nominations that came pouring in from across Wales.
Well, we are now joined by the chair of that panel, Dr. Phil George. Such a difficult year for so many people, but I suppose the question is, how difficult was your job in shortlisting those nominations?
Well, and many congratulations to all the finalists gathered on the screen. Llongyfarchiadau mawr. It's always hard to show this because every year the people of Wales show their solidarity, their compassion, their courage, their skills and their creativity in such extraordinary ways. You end up having to decide that the respect is even more worthy of reward than person Y, when he has also done fantastic things. And this year it was even harder because the pandemic has called for response from the people of Wales that has been overwhelming and humbling in its generosity and inventiveness. So a hard job, but it's one made a bit easier by the collective wisdom of my colleagues on the panel who bring wide-ranging expertise and good humour to our decision. A word of thanks to the excellent behind-the-scenes team in Welsh Government who give such good support. In the end, it's not hard, it's a privilege to serve on the panel and to read such amazing stories in the nominations.
Dr. Phil George, thank you so very much indeed for joining us, for battling through these technical issues that we are having, but thank you so very much for your contribution too. Thank you.
Wel, bob dydd ar draws Gymru, mae nifer o bobl ifanc yn cyflawni pethau arbennig iawn. Our next award this evening is all about honouring young people and their contribution to Welsh society.
Our finalists tonight are a young campaigner fighting to end the stigma around periods, a 12-year-old boy recovering from cancer who helped save a drowning swimmer, and the teenager determined to stamp out bullying in schools.
I was just 6 years old when the bullying started. I used to come home from school with bruises and scratches most days, and other days it was mental defeat. There were times I didn't want to keep going, and at age 11 I got to the point where I attempted suicide. As I got older, I decided to let it go and change the way people behave and hopefully change the world.
She's had a traumatic life so far. However, Casey hasn't let that beat her. She surprises me how inspirational she is.
I chose to become a Bullies Out ambassador because I saw that difference they were making, and it was the best thing I ever did. I learned what it was like to help other people. I then heard about the Welsh Youth Parliament and thought it was the next step in my ladder of changing the world.
Casey's choice to represent Barnardo's Cymru with the Youth Parliament, that wasn't an easy choice for her to make. How she's grown and developed and used her experiences from her past to move forward into the future, it's an utter joy.
The best moment for me was when I finished my first speech in the chamber. I saw this woman and she came to me in tears and said, "You've done it, you changed the way people would think." At that moment I knew I could really make a difference.
When Ethan was a small child, he was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So we had a lot of hospital trips back and forth for Ethan's treatment. Ethan's still got a few cancerous cells in his throat, and obviously with the pandemic, he was in isolation. I didn't realise for the first time that he actually went out, it was going to be so dramatic. He came down to the Gorad, where obviously there was a number of people jumping in, as it was a beautiful day. Steve, the fella who jumped in, obviously started drowning, and Ethan then decided to take it upon himself and jump in and pushed him to the top of the water, where there was 3 or 4 other people at the side, and they pulled him out. They done CPR on him, and luckily enough he did survive. I was really shocked to hear that Ethan had done such a great heroic thing. Yeah, super proud. Words can't say enough.
The Love Your Period campaign is all about eradicating the stigma around periods. So many people find the topic of menstruation just inappropriate to talk about. I know I couldn't just sit back and let this happen. I had to act to change people's perspectives around the topic of menstruation. We have over 5,000 supporters across social media. We provide an LGBTQ+ helpline to support people and promote gender-inclusive periods. We help homeless people and NHS workers, and I personally provide one-on-one support to some of the most vulnerable students in my area. In addition, I'm lucky enough to represent all Welsh school pupils on the Period Dignity Roundtable. It's a great opportunity for me to be able to influence the debate and make sure that our voices are heard.
I saw my sister struggling with mental health. I wanted to step in and continue a campaign. I couldn't ask for a more incredible sister.
Her hard work and determination have done so much to make period shaming a thing of the past and to make it a normal topic of conversation in everyday life. The changes that Molly has made will have a lasting impact for students for years to come.
To know that the Love Your Period campaign has made such a difference to so many lives across Wales and the UK and the wider world, it brings me to tears. It's really exciting to see what the future holds for the Love Your Period campaign.
Oh my gosh, well, First Minister, a truly incredible group of youngsters there, but the question is, who has won tonight's award?
Mae'r tri telyn gwir yn ysbrydoliaeth I ni gyd. All three finalists in this category have achieved so much at such a young age. But the winner of the St David Young Person Award is Molly Fenton, the Love Your Period campaign.
Wonderful.
Gwych! Wel, gadewch i ni siarad gyda Molly nawr. Molly joins us from her home. Hello, Molly. Congratulations. Hello. How inspirational are you? Gosh, you've used your free time during this pandemic in such a positive way. So what are you looking forward to for the rest of the year now? More campaigning?
Yes. Get off me with all that. Sorry. Yeah, really, you know, the fight is never ever done. You know, I continuously there, you know, Jane the Hutt, love her, you know, I'm always on everyone's backs. This campaign has gone above and beyond, and throughout my ill health over the last few years, I've really got to, first of all, thank Hilly, my young carer, because without her I wouldn't be able to do the work that I do. And as I always say to all my social media followers, it is thanks to everyone and thanks to you that we are able to help so many young people, especially in a time when now period poverty is more of an issue than ever.
Well, huge congratulations to you, Molly. I think I'm looking at a future First Minister. Is that Mum in the background? Hiya, Mum. How proud are you? How proud are you?
Oh, I'm speechless. Tears. So proud of them both. It's unbelievable. We're all proud of our children, but God, these girls, honestly, they are just amazing campaigners.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well,
see them in the Assembly very soon.
Well, keep up the fight, Molly, and thank you so much. Well done. Llongyfarchiadau mawr.
Well, how do you follow that? We follow that with the Humanitarian Award, which recognises an individual or group from Wales who've made an outstanding contribution by improving the lives of others, either in Wales or internationally. Now, we have three very strong contenders this evening. They are the man who has given the best part of 3 decades fighting homelessness, the young campaigner fighting to stop hate crime against visually impaired people, and the mother trying to break the taboo of autism within the Chinese community.
My name's Inghara Paget-Jones and I live with my lovely guide dog Tudor. I'm registered as severely sight impaired and Tudor helps me get around. At the very start of the pandemic, social distancing was introduced. They drew arrows on the floor, there was lots of signage around, but when you can't see, it's pretty much useless. Tudor isn't trained to know what the arrows are, and he's not trained to find a queue or keep his distance. What I hadn't expected was to receive the hate and abuse from a minority of the public.
Guide dogs are highly trained animals, but they won't understand that there is a new requirement to keep a certain distance away from people. What they actually do is to make sure that we can move safely around people and get to where we want to go.
It was a bit of a scary experience. The hate and abuse got so bad I didn't really want to go outside. I was determined to raise awareness of this issue. I set out to change my negative experience into a positive for other people. I've been working with all 4 police forces in Wales and the Welsh Government, as well as local councils, to raise the awareness, and the response I got was incredible.
The work that Anne Howard has been doing has been inspirational, and it really helps us to reach more people.
I'm quite proud of what I've achieved. Every step is a step forward.
Autism, it varies across culture. For Chinese culture, autism is still a very new concept. It's a disease that generally people want to avoid. It's almost like a taboo that nobody talks about it.
Chinese families experience huge difficulties if they have additional needs. Just with the difficulties in language barriers and cultural differences, it's really tough. Hazel's work has been absolutely central for those families to access groups. We just wouldn't be accessible without the help of Hazel, and it's been amazing to have those families now.
When I found the differences of Noah, that I really wanted to talk to somebody about it, but there's no one that I could talk to. I was hoping that I can speak to as many people as possible, to hoping they're understanding the barriers, and also for the Chinese families, they will be empowered by knowing a lot more about the conditions. I started to run a lot of courses, give training to Chinese carer parents. I also conducted a lot of activities for children, so to provide them with more opportunities.
Hazel should be extremely proud of the work that she's done. Those families would not be able to access half the things that they do without her.
There's a lot more work need to be done. I hope I have made a positive change to the Chinese family living with autism.
When I first started at Welsh Housing Aid back in the beginning of 1990, Shelter Cymru was delivering services, important services of course, but just to 5 local authority areas in Wales. Well, I guess the big difference for me over the last 30 years is Shelter Cymru's growth in being able to help tens of thousands more people.
John Pusey's made an enormous contribution to housing in Wales. He's been an inspirational leader and campaigner and has achieved so much for people in terms of their housing rights. His leadership and commitment have made Shelter Cymru a crucial player in the housing and social wellbeing sector.
What's always been important to me about leading Shelter Cymru is recognising how homelessness, that the fear of homelessness and poor housing devastates people's lives. It was a massive privilege to be working for an organisation like Shelter Cymru that was actually challenging those kind of issues. Shelter Cymru has been all about a fabulous team of workers and volunteers. It's been an absolute privilege working with those people.
John's got boundless energy, and he's relentlessly promoted the rights of people to a home. He's also laid the foundations for further improvements now moving forward.
I've been so proud being a part of Shelter Cymru over the last 30 years, and it's great to continue to be a champion for the cause.
And to announce the winner, it's over to First Minister Mark Drakeford again. First Minister.
Wel, categori anodd arall i'r Pwyllgor Ymgynghorol. There were many wonderful nominations in this category, people who have gone that extra mile to help others. But the winner of the humanitarian category this year is John Pusey.
Well, congratulations to you, John, and what a remarkable career that's helped so many people over so many years, more than 30. John, what do you think has been your biggest achievement?
Well, I mean, this is a tremendous honour, as a citizen of Wales to get this. But I see this, I have to say, I think this award is very much about recognising the work of my former colleagues now at Shelter Cymru over the years and continuing to end homelessness in Wales and the fear of homelessness in Wales. So I think the building the organisation over those years has been very important. Arguing for the right to a decent home for everybody in Wales has been a key element of our work over those years. And very importantly, I think, bringing people who've actually had the lived experience of homelessness and housing need, bringing those people into the organisation. In the sense, Shelter Cymru was seen as a platform for the voice of people who've actually experienced homelessness. So, as far as I'm concerned, a great privilege to get this award, but the award is very much for my colleagues in Shelter Cymru.
Well, it's our privilege to be joined by you this evening. John Pusey, thank you so very much indeed. Well, let's check in again with what's been happening out there on social media. Firstly, one for our business category winner, Little Inspirations. At Alex Davis Jones says, an outstanding recognition for brilliant local business.
And Carl Folks tweets, privileged to be joining the St David Awards tonight, celebrating incredible commitment, bravery and innovation across Wales.
And here's one you're going to like, Larry. Wayne Court says, both Ruth and Larry are looking amazing tonight. Wayne, we thank you so very much. If you are tweeting, don't forget to use the hashtag St David Awards. We love to know what you think, don't we?
We're nosy. Indeed. And this has been waiting to be worn for the past 2 years. So thank you. Mae'r wobr nesaf yn wobr arall sy'n cael ei chyflwyno am y tro cyntaf eleni. The Critical or Key Worker Award is for an individual, team or group in Wales who have made an outstanding contribution in the fight against coronavirus and have gone that extra mile to support the people of Wales during this pandemic.
Well, so many people have done so many things over the last year that it's been very tough to narrow it down to just 3 finalists. The 3 we do have, though, are truly special. They are the staff of a care home who moved in with their residents, the volunteers who delivered over 18,000 hot meals to the most vulnerable, and the woman who tirelessly worked to support young carers during the lockdowns.
Cherry Street Care Home is a residential care home. We are predominantly an EMI residential home for people with Alzheimer's and dementia. When the pandemic first hit, we all wanted to look after our residents and to keep them all as safe as we could, even if that meant taking drastic action.
We were very fearful of coronavirus getting into the home, so the decision was, for the safety of the residents, was to lock down the home literally within days. So we went home, we informed our families, children, husbands what we were going to do. We packed our bags and everything we needed for the next 6 weeks and moved straight in.
9 members of staff volunteered to live in at Cherry Tree for 6 weeks and longer if needs be. To give up that much time of your life, it was heartwarming.
During our days of lockdown, we provided everything that the residents needed. There was a real team spirit. We were in it together.
I don't think I've ever seen such selfless acts from staff. Words just not enough, really. Enormously proud.
We won't ever forget what we did. It was a privilege to spend 6 wonderful weeks at the Cherry Tree with all the residents.
Matthew's House is a remarkable charity in the heart of Swansea, and our aim is to deliver hospitality and hope to the vulnerable and homeless community in Swansea. So we provide meals on a pay-as-you-feel basis, which allows everybody to access them. We have showers, a laundry project, and just general dignity pack supplies.
When the pandemic hit, access to food was a major concern in Swansea. It was amazing how quickly organisations came together. Matthew's House did a phenomenal job of pulling together the Swansea Together campaign. The idea of Swansea Together was to ensure that homeless people, vulnerably housed people and vulnerable people had access to food during the pandemic.
In the beginning of the pandemic, we knew we needed to help people self-isolate. So having a delivery service allowed that to happen. Through the pandemic, we saved 18,000. One of our guests came to us and said, "You truly saved my life."
They've earned people's trust in the community and people feel safe here. It's a wraparound support here, which is far more than the food.
I am incredibly proud of our volunteer team. Just to know that we can help people, help their lives be a little bit easier, is exactly what Matthew's House is all about.
I've been working with young carers for over 15 years, working with young people and children from the ages of 5 to 18 who have a caring responsibility for another family member. We run trips, activities, we do workshops, we make sure we give our young carers the opportunities to take part in as many things as they can throughout RCT and further afield.
The pandemic hit everybody at Young Carers really hard, especially the young carers and their families. The one person that sort of stepped up and made sure that these children and their families were definitely not going to suffer was Trudy. So she straight away decided to put all of our group support online. She was in contact with all the families straight away, making sure they had everything they needed, made sure that there was grants for food, electricity, that kind of support there for them.
I'm privileged to work with these incredible young people on a daily basis. It's been really hard throughout the pandemic, not being able to support them in the ways we normally do. I just want to make sure that every young carer is recognised for the role that they carry out.
I'm so proud of Trudy. She's been amazing, not just for the young carers, but for the team and for everybody around you as well. Her dedication and commitment has made the lives of so many young carers so much more easier.
Well, First Minister, I don't envy you this. Another really tough category, but can you please tell us who the winner is tonight?
A category newydd eleni. This new category has been introduced to reflect the vital role that critical workers have played during this extraordinary past year. Ar enillydd yw, the winner is Cherry Tree Care Home.
Well, we are joined now by Gaynor Jones from Cherry Tree House. Oh, I can see that beaming smile on your face. You know, what a sacrifice.
Thank you.
But, you know, you left... You get, you see, it's your moment. Go for it. How do you feel?
Well, first of all, can I just say, I know we've got our directors on here, the owners, Dave and Gemma Atkins, who always get forgotten, the support they've given to do this, financially, emotionally. Tracy, the care home manager, Joanne, the deputy manager, we're all on tonight. But I think we'd all agree we are so humbled to be in this category and to see so many amazing stories of people and courage and bravery and innovation and how we are kind of all linked together in a certain way. Our reason for moving in the first wave was we didn't have enough PPE, we didn't know enough about coronavirus, we were very scared, and we just started seeing footage in hospitals and we thought, you know what, we're keeping coronavirus out of our homes. So we moved in. I didn't personally do it, but within 2 days the staff were all packed and ready to go in. They had children, they had grandchildren, they had grandparents, older people within their families they were worried about. But we knew that if they moved in and no one was going in and out, we could try and, do our level best. Because at that point, all we did know about the virus was could be fatal and critical for older people with underlying health conditions. So basically, they didn't even have to think about it. It was just amazing. And it wasn't just one home. We had 2 homes that did it at the same time. And the love and support, the connection, the warmth that that team bonded, gave to the people that live in these care homes, the support from the families, because I think we have to remember through this pandemic, we've just opened up visiting in pods now. Our residents have not seen their family for 12 months, so the staff had to provide that extra emotional support as well. So to say I am proud, I've got goosebumps everywhere. I'm so proud of the whole team. Thank you to Dave and Gemma as well, who we couldn't have done this without. They are the directors and the owners, a family-run business. Thank you to Tracy, thanks to Joanne. I'm the ops manager, but I'm just so happy, honestly. It's just, and again, humbled to be nominated with such wonderful people, and the night is amazing, so many great stories.
Well,
thank you so much, thank you.
I'm sure you can raise a glass to all the team. Thank you so much, Gaynor Jones.
Sit here.
You've got it. Huge congratulations.
Cheers.
At y wobr ola ond un, Ysbryd y Gymuned. The last of our publicly nominated awards is the Community Spirit Award, which recognises an individual or group who have made an outstanding contribution to improving their local community.
Let's take a look now at our finalists. There's the team of volunteers who came to the aid of residents during last year's devastating flooding. The dial-a-ride drivers who provided a lifeline during lockdown. And the man who delivered over 1,400 prescriptions, amongst other things, to those who were forced to shield.
Canolfan Pentra is a vibrant community project based in Pentra in the Rhondda. We have lots of lovely community projects and groups running from the centre, as well as a vital food bank. Our main objective is to help reduce isolation and loneliness in all ages. The last 12 months have been a real challenge for us at the centre. We had the devastating effects of Storm Dennis, which hit our community hard. We knew from the start that we had to play a vital part within the community to support our residents.
It was just chaos in here, and we had to sort it all out so that we could give out packages to everybody. That we were giving them buckets with all the products, cleaning products in, and we also had then clothes and towels. We also provided access to telephones and the internet so they could apply for grants, get their insurance claims in, and just anything they needed to do.
The second time then, we were just gone into the pandemic, which has been very difficult, but we have continued to work, supplying residents all over the Rhondda. At one point, we provided nearly 1,600 packages to residents.
We had some volunteers from the centre who were able to go out and get some shopping and prescriptions for people. For many, we were a real lifeline.
I am so proud of all of the volunteers and staff that work at the centre. They make a huge difference in people's lives. I know they make a huge difference in my life, and they're just absolutely awesome.
Dial-a-Ride Denbighshire provides fully accessible transport, door-to-door transport for people with impairments, disabilities, can't access public transport through no fault of their own. Normally we would take people shopping or to medical appointments, hairdressers, see family and friends. From the first day of the pandemic, everybody was shielding, not going out. We really wanted to be there for our community, so we turned it around and provided a free prescription and shopping service.
Wnaethon ni gyflwyno'r gwasanaeth siopio a dropio am ddim cost yn ogystal â'r casgliadau presgripsiwn. Rhoddodd hwn I fod yn achubiaeth hanfodol I llawer o bobl, a fel arall wedi fynd heb fwyd neu meddyginiaeth.
We asked the people that we'd been helping during the pandemic, would they want to start going out themselves, and if so, would they feel more comfortable with somebody going with them, providing that bit of confidence for them to go out and do their own shop. Been fixing letterboxes, gates, wheelchairs.
Mae chwarae rhan fach yn yr amser anodd hwn wedi golygu'r byd I gyd ohonon ni yma yn Dial-a-Ride.
I couldn't be more prouder of the team that we've got here at Dial-a-Ride.
During this uncertainty time, this is the opportunity to help the people and know the people what they need, and it's an opportunity for me to give back to the community where I come from. When pandemic started, we were working in helping the care home people. Whichever area I can be able to help them, whether it is through the online or physically or through the shop support, I managed to help the community.
Mahbub was incredibly active with the local community, and especially helping those in need. He delivered 1,400 prescriptions, met with families, and most importantly, was really facilitating bereaved families with funeral arrangements. So it was a critical component of the response for the community within Swansea.
And then the university started to track and trace on the student and staff. I decided to shift my work from helping the care homes and to start to helping the staff and student on campus, the lateral flow test, which we started in December.
His passion for his work has generally changed lives and really has benefited the community within the university.
I feel really privileged to support my community. The ultimate aim to help our community is something which I receive from the community. I want to give back, which is good and kind to me and my family.
Prif Weinidog, pwy yw'r enillydd? First Minister, tell us who's won this award this year.
Wel, eleni, rydyn ni wedi gweld pobl yn dod at ei gilydd i gefnogi ei gilydd a chynnig cymorth I eraill. I know that this was an especially difficult category for the committee who helps us with the awards, because we've seen so many great examples of community spirit this year. Ond yr enillydd yw, the winner is Denbighshire Dail y Rhaid.
Well, I'm very pleased to say we are joined now by Beverly Mather from Denbighshire Dail y Rhaid. Beverly, what an amazing job you've all been doing. It's been a very challenging year, of course, but how has it brought you as a team together?
The team have been absolutely amazing. Nothing that we've asked them to do has been too much. They've stayed on later in the evening and worked through until the job's been done. They have been absolutely amazing.
And how do you feel winning this award?
It's just amazing to be acknowledged for the work that we're doing.
Well, it's incredible what you've been doing, and keep up this invaluable service that you are providing, of course. And is there any way of celebrating this evening? Oh, I think another one. Another champagne glass. Llongyfarchiadau mawr. Huge congratulations. Oh!
Wonderful.
Congratulations to the whole family.
Oh.
Rydyn ni wedi cyrraedd gwobr... Rydyn ni wedi cyrraedd gwobr ola'r noson. Gwobr arbennig y Prif Weinidog. Now then to our final award of the evening. Personally chosen each year by the First Minister himself.
Yes, the First Minister's Special Award goes to an individual or a group of people who have achieved or done something exceptional. So, to tell us more and to announce this year's winner, I'm going to hand you back now to the First Minister.
Well, Ruth, it's a great privilege to make this nomination for the First Minister's Special Award in the St David ceremony. My nomination is a genuine polymath, a man for all seasons, a leader in his own profession as a consultant orthopaedic surgeon in the Welsh NHS, an internationalist, the honorary consul here in Wales for Poland, representing the many Polish citizens who have made their homes here in Wales. A man of the arts and culture and community as leader of the India Centre here in Cardiff. An innovator, a man who helped to set up a remarkable project in which hundreds of young Asian and Indian clinicians come to Wales to spend 2 years in our NHS, learn new skills and then go back to India and carry on in their careers. And in this extraordinary year in particular, a man who alerted the Welsh Government very early on in the pandemic to the disproportionate impact on Black, Asian and minority communities of coronavirus. But someone who didn't simply bring the problem to the Welsh Government but brought a solution as well, who devised a simple self-assessment tool, something that an individual worker could complete in just a few minutes and would show just how much risk they were at as frontline workers in our health and social care system. Since then, that tool has been adopted not simply in the Welsh NHS and in other services in Wales, but far beyond. Thousands and thousands of people have benefited from it during this extraordinary year. So a man for all seasons, but a man for this season in particular. This year's First Minister's Special Award goes to Professor Dr. Keshaf Singhal. And we're now going to hear a bit more about him.
When the pandemic started, we were worried that certain sections of our population were very vulnerable. The intention was to create a risk assessment tool for the NHS employees. It is self-administered. It takes literally less than 5 minutes to complete. It straight away tells you your risk levels, and it tells you what steps you should take to safeguard your health.
Other services have looked at this risk assessment tool to try to understand how do you go from a general understanding there's risk to then take it forward to think about how you protect staff. Got real expertise behind the tool.
It's helped over 40,000 health and social care workers in Wales and further afield address their risk from coronavirus. It's protected so many people from harm.
I wanted this to be available to the general public. And for that I created an app which basically is exactly the same as the risk tool we have. I think it's given the employees a huge amount of confidence to keep on working during the second wave. And I think the fact that we have managed to sustain the NHS, that's a testament to the efficacy of this tool.
Keshaf and the team deserve our huge thanks and praise for the work that they've done.
And we are delighted to say we are joined now by Professor Keshaf Singhal, and the First Minister is still here too. Professor Singhal, llongyfarchiadau mawr. I know in the past you have been awarded an MBE, but there's only one First Minister award. How do you feel?
I feel absolutely delighted, humbled, honored. Words fail to come to my mind to express what I'm feeling at the moment. It's a very, very emotional moment. As you say, there's only one First Minister Special Award, and for the First Minister to read out some words for me, I think it's really very, very and as I said, I just can't express my feelings at the moment.
And what drives you?
I think it's the kindness, it's the warmth of everybody around me, it's the ability to work together as a team, and the energy that we provide to each another, and that together we are able to do something for our communities and for our people. I think that's a huge driver for me.
A huge congratulations on all your incredible work, and thank you.
Well, First Minister, sorry to interrupt you there. First Minister, a question to you. This is your personal award, chosen by yourself, not by a panel, but something that's very individual to you. Why this particular winner? Why the Professor?
Well, it's been an extraordinary year, a year of many, many deep sorrows, but a year of extraordinary strength as well. And I was trying to think of somebody who summed all that up who'd been there at the front line of this pandemic, but who didn't simply know how difficult it was, but went on to create solutions that made such a difference in the lives of so many people who we rely on at the front line of our health and social care system. And I could think of nobody better, both because of everything he has done this year, but for that great depth of contribution that Professor Sengal has made to the Welsh NHS, to the Welsh community. He's an outstanding Welsh citizen, and I could think of nobody better to represent the extraordinary experience we've had and the strength that we've managed to summon together to get through it.
Professor Sengal, thank you so very much for joining us, and our heartfelt congratulations to you. What a wonderful job. And our congratulations and our thanks also, First Minister, for a wonderful evening. And I think it just goes to show how important this evening is to the First Minister against the backdrop of everything going on. He's a very busy man. But it has, as I said, been an amazing evening. A wonderful way to have celebrated the achievements of some of the very finest people here in Wales during what, as we've been saying, has been a very difficult year. And they are all Wales's heroes, Eleri.
Indeed. Congratulations to the winners and all our finalists. And thank you, of course, for being a splendid virtual audience this evening. Yay! Hope you've enjoyed, and huge congratulations to you all, of course.
So very well behaved as well, aren't they?
Very well. Thank goodness they are muted. It's been incredibly humbling to hear all your stories. You are examples of the calibre of people we have in Wales, and we are so, so proud of you.
We are indeed. Now then, finally, the 2022 nominations are now open, can you believe? So please do get yours in. And you can see a very special programme with more on tonight's winners and our virtual audience on ITV Cymru Wales on the 31st of May. But for now, from myself and the very lovely Eleri Sean, I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching and goodbye to you. Nos da.
Nos da.